Oh, God. Oh, look at I just found, man. Angel Dame. Hi, everybody. It's me again, Jackee Love. And happy new week. Happy new month. Today is the 7th of September, 2020. I'm going to be talking about coping with adult ADHD because I think it's so important that we know what's going on in your brain and that you're not crazy. You know, even if you've grown, you could be affected with ADHD or ADD. I was struggling for many years because I didn't know I had ADHD, and I just didn't understand why I would lose interest in stuff. And right now, I just want to give y'all a few of the symptoms. So if you are experiencing something like this in your life, then you can just, do your own research on Google and just take some little tests. You don't have to say nothing to nobody, or just, this world is so advanced for us now. I mean, look at me, I'm on TV, kind of. It's all about love show on YouTube and wherever you're viewing this at. Hi, everybody. Welcome. If you're just joining in, this is all about love, and I'm talking about adult ADHD. I know children have it, but we don't talk about us grown-ups enough, and they joke about it in the comedians, they joke about it and stuff like that. A lot of them have it too. Anyway, coping with adult ADHD, and I'm going to be talking about some of my challenges and stuff right now, okay? So my daily challenges being ADHD, I wrote it down, so I'm kind of looking at this as I'm talking, okay, guys? Some symptoms, again, like the challenging things about having ADHD is like if something don't stimulate you, like mentally, like music or something like that, you don't want to do it, like washing dishes, okay? I hate washing dishes. I don't hate washing dishes anymore, like just like the last couple of years, okay? Maybe not in that long, but it was always a challenge for me, and I didn't know why the washing dishes was a serious challenge. They would just sit there, and I remember when I was a kid, my mom, she tried everything. She tried whooping my butt and whatever, and put me on a punishment. Like she would give me, like, we'll have like 3 days for dishes, and mine would end up being a week and then 2 weeks, because I would never do them. And I don't know, why would I not do them? I mean, I would even go as far as to go and stack them up. You know how you do, you stack up the plates and the bowls and the spoons and forks. You like go through all this action, but like I could have just washed the dishes, but I didn't. It wasn't exciting for me. It wasn't. Our brains, when you have ADHD, you need excitement, and this was not exciting to me, because a lot of us, we are very spontaneous, and we're random kind of in our behavior. Some of us have risky behavior and the inability to make big decisions in the relationships, regarding relationships, like marriages. Like, we can be in a bad relationship and stay in it forever. I wrote down, why am I always late? And I used to always why am I late? Like, I was late to everything my entire life, and I heard it all. People like, she'll be late for her funeral, and she's always late. I remember this one lady said that, because I guess, after a while, people just think you're doing it on purpose. And on the inside, you're like, dang, I am always late. And you kind of want to just give up on stuff because you're always late. But like, you tell yourself, especially if you're going to church and you got faith and stuff, and you say, nah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to conquer this. And then you show up late and learn how to make up stories, and then like being a person of integrity, I decided to just tell the truth. Most of the time anyway. I would just own up to it. I'll call the person and say, hey, I'm gonna be late. Maybe we should reschedule or something like that. I always had to have integrity, but I didn't know why I was always late. I was always struggling with that. But now that I found out, that's one thing that I've been working on, since I know that is one of the traits of being ADHD. It's not getting better. It's like, and what can I do? And what is this person doing wrong? And then what if we do this? And just analyze, overanalyze shit. And and then the risque behavior. Lack of friends. Yeah, I didn't know that, and that's something I didn't really know until I really looked on the, I did some research on Google about myself, because I just got so frustrated. Like, why am I always late? Why, this, why that? So I started researching myself, because nobody couldn't seem to help me. And then with this, having this type of a brain, which I say is different, I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm sure many geniuses have ADHD, because we critically think, like we overthink, and depending on our signs or whatever we are, like we're super creative in the area of, where, if we like something, we are good at it. Like for me, I can just kind of figure out how stuff works. Just little things. I used to always like to put things back together, like the little statues and stuff. Like if I broke something, I would always want to get the crazy glue and put it back together and make it look like it was never broken or something. I mean, that's really small, but I'm just saying little things like that. Or in detail, when I was writing my book, Waiting for Love, and there's certain things I'm not good at, like kind of like Einstein. Yeah, like he wasn't good at tying his shoes. I'm not gonna remember directions. I mean, I'm not claiming that. That's just my experience, and I'm so happy that they have, Google Maps. Praise God. Not only have lack of friends, but we're misunderstood all the freaking time. It's like we are thinking something on the inside of our head, which we're meaning, and it sounds wonderful and awesome, but then maybe it might come out as blunt or something, and stern, kind of stoic. And I never knew that, and people just don't want to tell you, oh my God, that was just, why did you say it like that? Like, anyway, I had this friend, like, her name's Melanie. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal, but like, this is when the AIDS epidemic came out, kind of like the COVID virus thing. But it was the AIDS epidemic, and they had billboards everywhere, commercials scaring the shit out of everybody, and I was caught up in that one, because I wasn't aware, like, all that kind of stuff, kind of sales and stuff, and everybody gets on the bandwagon, the businesses and the car dealers, like everybody stay safe and drive up. I'm not gonna get into that, because I ain't trying to have them cut off my video, but anyway. And so she's my friend, right? And in the inside of me, I'm super terrified, right? Because they got it on like BET, like videos and stuff like that. I was shooting with the commercials, get tested, and the billboards and everything. And I'm like, young and stuff, really young. And it is like, this is kind of scary, And so at the same time, I was saved and stuff, and going to church and trusting God. Like, heck no, I ain't getting sick, But at the same time, I was terrified on the inside. I was terrified. Seriously, I was. And I have nightmares, trembling. And long story short, my friend, very good friend, okay? Like her boyfriend was friends with my ex-boyfriend. But we were still friends, okay? So we were talking on the phone quite often, and so those things, those fears was inside of me. So one day I was talking to her on the phone, and it was like a calm conversation. But then I just kind of said, have you been tested for HIV? Kind of stoic like that. And I think she said yeah or something like that. But I think maybe I had just been tested and I was good, and I was like, kind of like, I don't know, relieved, but maybe I sounded a little cocky. I don't know. But I just feel like after that, we didn't really talk that much. I mean, we did, but it was different. Like, she's still my friend. She's my daughter's godmother. So this was different. Like, so I'm only using that example of myself to say sometimes, like, we all make mistakes. It's not a big, like, it's not terrible. It's good to be aware, of how you appear in the world. And some people don't tell you. You gotta figure that shit out on your own, and not to say that, like, I'm picking on myself, but I'm saying that, like, if you kind of have what they call a mental illness, and then you're not sure, your brain is not really sure how to put the voice tone the emotion into something that you ask somebody as serious as that, and then you sound kind of like judgmental, but you don't mean to. But that's just because our brains don't connect and say, okay, this is a sensitive subject, and maybe I can jump in first by saying, that junk is really scary and stuff, and I just got tested, and I was wondering if what you thought about it or something. But with age comes knowledge too. So, and with knowing what you're dealing with comes knowledge too, right? So, getting back to it, the misunderstanding of the friends and things like that, poor communication, sensitive, very sensitive. I think it's too because we get misunderstood so much, because our communication, and the voice tone and maybe even the facial expressions don't all go together, and the body language, and just different things that we have to learn over the years to, I think that's why a lot of us are perfectionists too, you can be moody, you can have depression, anxiety, can't sit still. Seriously, like, I keep going to the bathroom or something at work, or, your church, you gotta be helping out some kind of way. Like, I can never, just sit at church and just do nothing, sit on the pew, be a pew bench warmer, because I can't stay still. That's why I would join, the praise team or the choir, and so that I wouldn't have to be just sitting there. I had to be doing something. I remember my ex used to say, "Dang, you can't even sit still, Kaale." I was like, "No." And I think as I got older and acquired my amount of stress from my expectations of how life was supposed to be, and getting that down, the fairy tale love affair that we're supposed to have after we trust God and we fast and pray and all that, and then God's supposed to give us this perfect love, and we say this people, what I'm saying, with anybody, that was my thing. I don't know your thing, what you was doing. Maybe you was overdoing, trying to find the perfect business, or maybe the perfect car, or maybe you were, I don't know what you were doing, okay, what your goals were in life. I know mine was to be in love, so I'm not gonna lie. So that's me and a billion trillion other women and men everywhere in the world, because we were taught that from birth, on TV, to have that family thing. So that's what I wanted, and so that's what I've been. That's what been my goal. It wasn't to be rich and famous. It's to have that perfect relationship. I don't, I'm just being honest. So anyway, so they can, honestly, having ADHD, you can be kind of promiscuous. People with ADHD are a lot of times promiscuous, okay? It's just that you don't have, especially when you're younger, okay, you learn how to control that shit, because I don't really do nothing for you. It's not safe, and then also it's just not, it's not good. You're getting all those soul ties and stuff, and you wonder why you're acting crazy and you change. Well, you didn't let a lot of souls connect to yours, and now you kind of acting like them. That's why people say you start acting like someone, you guys start looking alike when you're married, because you start having the mannerisms and you kind of take on their personality. So that's not a good idea, But God, you can get rid of those, soul ties. You can ask your angels and God how to get rid of that stuff out of you. How to cleanse yourself, renew yourself, and you'd be like a virgin, okay? The reason why we do it too is we want that connection, and we like that. We want the butterflies, we want that newness of feeling beautiful and handsome or whatever you like to feel. and getting them feeling that close feeling like, oh, I miss you, oh, you're beautiful. You want that newness. It's like we want that all the time. Like, that's exciting to our brain, stimulating. It's like, whoa, bells and whistles, you know what I'm saying? Something to look forward to, excitement, new, fun. But like when it gets challenging and boring and all that, I'm sorry, y'all, it's a little fly. We don't want to deal with that. Like, it's boring. Like, we always need excitement. So that's why a lot of us in our, younger days, because if you ain't getting that love at home, you think, okay, yeah, you kind of be like cheating and stuff, and that's not good. Anyway, but it's all experience. We all here for an experience. I ain't here to judge nobody, okay? Because I can't. And our brain gives us, dopamine, which when we get excited, we get dopamine, inside of us, and our brain lacks that, and that's not only in children, that's in adults as well with ADHD. And I just want to say that, the H in ADHD does not mean necessarily that you're hyper, jumping around, blah, blah, blah. Maybe as a kid, but mostly it's our brain. It's like zoom, zoom, zoom. Like, we just thinking like a whole bunch of stuff, right? Like, our brain is going like 1,000,000 miles. Well, I don't want to say 1,000,000 miles an hour, but at least 100 miles an hour, or 50. It's going pretty fast, I've learned to slow my thoughts down. I learned that now with the power of thoughtfulness. I've been studying because I had to be free, y'all. So I was listening to some Eckhart Tolle, and he was just talking about the power of now, of being in the present moment. And I heard that so many times, and I did not understand that, okay? Seriously. But I got to a point, I was so desperate to be better and just stop freaking having these thoughts that the ego kept on replaying in my head of stuff that's long gone, that I have no control over. Mostly a lot of it was like trying to replay the scenes in my head about my son and how I can make it better and all this stuff. But the fact is I can't make it better by worrying about it. I mean, I got a lot of stuff I could think about and worry about and say, oh my God, I hope they forgive me one day. Like, the thing is, I need to forgive myself. And I can only really do that by stopping the thought. So the power of now in Eckhart Tolle's book, I listened to it on YouTube. On they have a lot of free. I call YouTube the university of YouTube, because it's really good for us. For a lot of people. And I always tell people about YouTube, because you can get on there and listen to books, educate yourself. And I used to listen to him when he was out on Oprah Winfrey and stuff. I was really into him because I needed some inner peace. And of course I was going to church and all that. But when I got home, I needed inner peace. These are my things to help me be better. So I listened to that. And yes, I was like, man, this is not Jesus. I'm not listening to something. I mean, like, back then, you feel a little guilty because, you're supposed to just be able to go, to God in prayer and go to the altar. But sometimes that's you can do that, and that's a good thing. But then God will instruct you to read a book or listen to a book or go to some, spiritual person that is more closer to, the spiritual side. I mean, people at church, some of them are super spiritual, but the church is a hospital of sick people, and we're all there trying to get better. So these people, you go there and sometimes you go back and, you end up getting hurt, and then you want to give up on everything. But you can't, you got to keep moving on, and you got to expand, I used to always say, be curious, because this book helped me. Those series, I listened to a lot of his. When I first moved here, I came back to Eckhart Tolle. Believe God let me him back. into my life, you know, among a lot of other wonderful teachers. And I'm so grateful because now I know how to have inner peace and without sitting up there thinking. Because I know now that I choose my own thoughts. I can choose my own thoughts. I don't have to just let that, that tape recorder, go on and on, just playing the same, or, memories and things of old and what ifs and all that scenarios. I'm co-creating, I'll say, my own life, with God and the angels. And I'm not gonna be like, we create things with our thoughts. So we have to be really mindful of that. Like, it's not our fault, but we need to learn how that we can control our thoughts. We can. I've done it personally. And I was the most skeptical person. And because I'm always want to check and make sure everything is right with God and make sure everything is right for me and it's not going to be too hard and all that. But like, if you come to a point in your life, it's like, dang it, I just got to stop thinking. But we can have some obsessive thoughts, but then when we get close to someone, and have friends and stuff like that, and we have that exciting feeling, we get that dopamine and it makes us feel better. But we gotta find better ways. Like I said, listen to some Eckhart Tolle. Listen to It's All About Love. Tell me what you want to hear about in the comments. I always call myself the answer lady. So, I'll be downloading a bunch of stuff, and I'm so grateful for that. So I get to share with you guys. As I got older, the symptoms of ADHD did not calm down like some kids, when they have asthma as a child, because they kind of have undeveloped lungs. And, ADHD does not get better when you get older. It does not go away. It stays with you. And you just kind of find ways to kind of deal with it. If you don't, the symptoms increase, like they get more magnified, like as you get older. Like I said earlier, you get a little lifestyle happening to you. You get a little stress going on, and becoming an adult and being an adult and raising children and taking on their problems and your own problems. All these things in life and dealing with work and church and friends and, relationships. People with ADHD, they do tend to they do things to cope, have coping skills. It makes you want to have alcohol. I mean, because it is, I guess that what they say, like a mental illness. So our brains are different, and like we feel like we're different, and we are different. Our brains just are different, but that's okay. Like, we just need to be around our tribe, other people who have ADHD, and like most of us, especially, you get over 30 or whatever, and you find out and you go, okay, now I know where I'm going because I know where I've been. And now with this information, now that I found out what's going on with my brain, I can work with that and see how to be better. And at the end of this video, before I end, I'm gonna tell you how I learned how to be on time. Okay, so stay tuned for that. It was trial and error. Since I had just been diagnosed and officially in 2018, it has truly opened my eyes to, past behavior and why I felt so confused about a lot of things, which made me question things that didn't make sense. Like things teachers would say at church or just human nature. I try to fit in, but never could, because I always noticed everything about the world and other people that other people didn't see or notice. It's never to be nitpicky, but like if somebody's eye was just crossed a little bit, and I wouldn't want to notice it, but I did, and But not just that. I noticed like when people were kind and they had a good heart and they may have been acting like a jerk, it's like I could still see them, that they have a good heart. That is a part of our brain. Like most of the time, we in certain areas we're like really, like me, I'm really notice human nature. So and things differences I can tell. Like I might know, like, oh, you will look really nice in this type of outfit. I can dress people. Yeah, I can tell you what look good on you and your hairstyle, and tell you it will work. Okay, I know because I've done it. I've done it for many boyfriends. No, shh, no, yeah, but no, my nieces and nephews and my kids. I'm a dragonfly.